you make $50,000 a year and you work 9 to 5 and you are smiling every day, you've won life. I believe there are millions of people who should be working their face off every minute because they love it, they're good at it, and it brings them joy. I think there are hundreds of millions of people that need to stop working so much because they don't love it. They're only doing it to buy shit to impress people they don't even like. I day trade attention and build businesses. Legacy is greater than currency. I'm a purebred entrepreneur for real, for real, for real. Like, documented.
Complacent mind is racing like a night. Fuck it, ain't no right way. Cause things been going left. People see me as a threat. Guess it's
if I was the third business, let's say we were friends in high school and you're like, Gary, you're the business guy. I'm like, all right, we have to build the apparel business and then build demand for the art. So I would go content, community, commerce, collectible. Content, which you've done, because content for everyone is achievable. If you don't want to make content and you can't make a lot of it and you don't want to learn how to do all of it, well then I got nothing for you. Because it's fucking free. Let's talk about community. Here's where you gotta start a Discord. Here's where you gotta start a text community. Here's where you gotta start weekly Google Hangout where people come in. You haven't built community yet.
Yeah.
The GaryVee story as a content creator is lost. People think of it as content. It was community even above content. Next, we go into commerce. Now when you have 700 of that 150,000, now 100 of them are gonna buy a $100 hoodie. Now you're starting. And then after that gets built, then I would go to collectible.
Okay.
VeeCon's kicking off tomorrow. Kind of tell me what this is all about.
The ambition of the conference itself is to be kind of the coolest business conference in the world. Popular culture meets contemporary business. And so a lot of Fortune 500 marketers, a lot of entrepreneurs that have built their businesses, mixing that all together over a 3-day period. And for the people that are actually going to the conference, 2 things. One, I want them to leave with a new friend, hence VeeFriends. I think the relationships that are made in conferences like this are profound, like-minded individuals meeting each other from around the world. And then I want them to leave with 2 or 3 nuggets of information, rethinking the way they're thinking about AI or an NFT or how to run their business or a social media strategy. And then there's a whole lot of positive motivation in the building. And so those things stand out.
I know that this world is all I'm giving, and all of these thrills don't count for living. A little more will is all it takes, so I persevere, I'm not afraid. And right when it's falling off, not all this loss is giving me.
When's my next call? Now?
I know this is something that you've talked about in the past, working hard in your 20s and not going on vacation and not doing all that stuff. Do you still have that, working harder mentality?
The thing that's always lost when I talk is the nuances. When people talk about that era of conversation, you have to understand that was 2008 and 9, and we were going through a massive recession. When I talk about what I did in my 20s, I talk about that from a framework of self-awareness of what worked for me. For example, I don't believe the way I did it is common. I don't think that most people at 22 years old are wildly obsessed with building their family's business for their parents. They sacrificed everything for me. I was born in the Soviet Union. We came here, we had nothing. My dad worked every minute to establish our family here. My mom loved me better than any mom loved any person on earth. And I am going to spend this energy I have inside of me in my 20s to build as big of a business as possible for them so that they can enjoy their lives that they were unable to because of what I was gonna impact. I had a very clear mission and enjoyed building an enormous business for my parents and changing the history of my parents and impacting my brother and sister along the way. That's not most people's framework. To answer your question, my going hard had a seed of love, not a seed of insecurity to prove to everybody I needed money to do something. And I loved every second of it. I have to do a better job and people have to pay a little closer attention to the words. Because for example, the first book I wrote, which talked about go and crush it. Within the book, it says, if you make $50,000 a year and you work 9 to 5 and you are smiling every day, you've won life. But people don't like to pick on that part. They like to talk about the extremes of the conversation. I believe there are millions of people who should be working their face off every minute because they love it, they're good at it, and it brings them joy. I think there are hundreds of millions of people that need to stop working so much because they don't love it. They're only doing it to buy shit to impress people they don't even like. That's the conversations I think we need to have, not what's work-life balance. Work-life balance is individual to every person on earth. Are you gonna tell someone who wants to do something for their family to work a little less for their mental health? You don't know their mental health. The best mental health I ever had was when I was building something for my parents.
Love that.
So that's me.
That's really cool.
Need me a little jump stop, baby, no, I won't stop early in the morning. Sip a little bit of sun, hot, throw away your sunblock, let the shade show you. There's nothing that is gonna top the feeling when you're on top, that's why this other soul. Better watch it for the long shots, when you know they're on you, gotta be for sure. Can't count up all the days.
You were in the background of one of my photos, and somebody said, your dad looks like he's about to drop the hardest album he's ever dropped.
Sunshine through again, we'll make it to the other side and finally make all night.
Selling product is hard.
Yeah.
And it's a skill. There's two ways to think about it. One, continuing to lean in. Two, taking the jump just to see if you can and being okay with failure.
Yeah.
Three, bringing in a partner on the selling stuff that actually knows how to do it and it's sharing the revenue. It's not only a long game, it's a talent game. Are you capable?
I think I have pretty good grounding skills.
So then I would say, even that answer, you almost have to do it, because if you don't, you'll always regret not trying. You gotta try.
Laughing in their face cause I'm still here. I got that drive, you fellas better steer clear. Birthed all of this from an idea. I just caught a buzz, we ain't heard from you in light years. I'm just toying with you. Better swing for the fence, never play foul. Wonder when all the real went out of style. I always get more than 100 percentile. Opposition futile, I don't wanna hear it.
Gary,
Yes.
you saved my life. I know you hear this a lot. I thought I was done. And you said these words. You said 50 is halftime. I was 48, I just went, fuck, he's right. And I went from abusive relationship to
A good place.
fuck that, left my job, new job, I love it, my kids are safe, we're all safe, and
That's awesome.
just those words.
Words
Remember,
are powerful.
you always say the one, you're gonna hear
one
that
time.
one thing,
literally
saved my life and all four of my children's lives with that words.
Such a pleasure to see you.
Hey Gary,
Good to
my
see
mom.
you. Such a pleasure.
Hey, thank you so much.
Happy to do it, brother.
Watching your content and seeing the way that my life has improved instantly. You know, helping my connection with my mom. You know, we haven't had the best of the past.
Sure, those are challenging circumstances.
A lot of circumstances.
But the beauty is you have so much more time in front of you.
After watching about maybe 3-4 months of your content, I
love
moved
it.
to Colorado and just started living for myself, and I've been feeling so good about it.
I'm glad, brother.
Thank you so much.
Such a
Hey,
pleasure.
can I grab a selfie?
Sure.
Never play foul. Wonder when all the real went out of style. I always get more
I've come to the stadium for 3 football games and left happy twice, but only didn't win the most important one.
Everybody wanna talk shit until it's too late. No, they tired of the bullshit. Well, this right here's the character. Take a sip, better roll a little son. Take a hit, make a hit. I mean, what else can I say? I'm the shit, I'm the shit.
I'm about to give a keynote at VeeCon this weekend, and I've decided to incorporate all of you. So, if you can, do we want them to put the video in community, reply with the videos? Yeah. Right? Yeah. So if you want to reply with a question, I want my theme to be around fear and eliminating fear and what's holding you back. So I want to give a keynote about fear, and I'd like you to be a part of my keynote. I'm actually going to put you up on the big jumbo screens throughout, asking the question. I'm going to answer it to the thousands and thousands and thousands of attendees at VeeCon this weekend. So my community gets to be a part of my keynote by asking a video question. Just reply here with your video questions. The team's gonna go through them, and we're gonna pick a dozen or so, and we're gonna answer them, and I may pick some others, and the team and I may just put that into our social media. So reply with your question around the theme of fear. Thank you. See ya. Love you.
No, there ain't no stopping me, guess it is what it is. Never been what I ain't. Yeah, the kid from the birds, but I'm far from a saint.
How do you react, Gary, to the Montana news?
People are asking me all the time, what happens if TikTok gets banned? I'm like, I don't even care if all of social media gets banned. I just care about where attention is. When I look at some of the data that you just throw out, 4 hours on TikTok. Well, I lived 7 hours a day on television. I consumed 4 hours of CNBC in the background all the time. So the human behavior of media consumption always evolves. So whether TikTok gets banned, whether all of social gets banned, the attention's gonna go somewhere else. And whether that's Spotify or iHeartRadio or CNBC or walking outside, the reality is I'm agnostic to the distribution. I'm just focused on being able to storytell within it. Thank you.
That was awesome. See you tomorrow.
Gave me a lot of courage so I could quit my job. Last year I was able to live my dream, man. I listen to your podcast all the time, and you gave me courage to get out there and do it.
I'm proud of you, bro. Let this be very fucking clear. Love is unfucking defeated.
Here we go. Yeah, put your hands in the air. Drinks in your cup if you don't give a fuck. Now, put the money on the wood.